Welcome, football fans, USFL fans, to the USFLA. We changed the name. It's not authority anymore. The A stands for anything. It's USFL anything. So, without further ado, we're back, guys. Webb and I have been gone for, you probably know how long. How long has it been?
The championship is on the 1st, right?
Wow, the championship was our last one, huh?
Yeah, so the 25th. So it's 25 days. Yeah, 25 days.
That's a long time to be gone. It feels like I felt like withdrawals. I didn't
know what to do on a Wednesday night. Like that.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I was like, Wednesday night I'm supposed to be filming with KB and Ace or Xander or whoever, and I was like, what do I do for a whole month of July? But
yeah, like people would be like, hey, what are you doing Wednesday night? And I was like, oh, nothing. I was like, I don't have anything. So I'm glad that we're back. Not only are we back, but we have a fresh look. Matt, first of all, I'm glad we're back. Hopefully you guys are still here. You guys are still watching. But to move on to the second thing on the agenda in episode 23 of USFLA, why rebrand? We have rebranded. We are now United Football Media. Sometimes I put a "the" in front of it. Sometimes we don't. It's just UFM, United Football Media. You look at Webb's handle down there for Twitter. It says UFM Web. Mine still says USFL because my account is still predominantly USFL. But we have rebranded because a few things. We've had a lot of changes in the past couple months, with the league, with how we wanted to do things, with people who are a part of the network. There's just a lot of moving parts. So things have changed so much that it kind of felt like a new thing altogether. And so we decided, let's just make it a new thing then. So
it's kind of like the Maulers who won one game in 2022, right? And then he got a new coat of paint with the black and gold and everything, and went all the way to the championship. That's exactly what it's like. We are now driving to the championship.
We're driving to the championship. So we're now the UFM, the United Football Media. Let me get my hats right. There we go. We have a new logo. I love this. Webb actually came up with the idea, or did you come up with it, or just someone else of the?
It was all of us. It was absolutely all of us.
Man, there was so many iterations of this new logo, so many iterations of what should be in the center. The amount of hours I spent looking at fonts, I hate fonts, but it is a microphone, much like the microphones that we use. If you look at Webb's microphone right now, it's on a stand. And so if you kind of think of it obscurely or abstractly, it is goalposts in a football. So that is goalposts in a football that are supposed to look like a podcasting mic, because we are a podcasting group, the media, United Football Media. So I'm very excited about this. A lot is changing, and man, we got big things coming up. But the next big thing coming up is something that Webb over here spearheads, and I'll let him talk about it.
It's USFL 50. So the NFL is releasing their top 100.
Yes.
The players vote on it. I think media votes. Everyone votes on it, and then they come up with the top 100. First of all, Justin Fields should not be in front of Trevor Lawrence, but that's a different show. That's a different.
Agreed.
We can discuss that now on the United Football Media. We can discuss all leagues on the United Football spot. This is USFLA. But so we are taking a top 50 list from people in the media, people that cover the league, players,
coaches, general managers.
Anyone that we have good connections with, we're reaching out to, trying to get a USFL 50 list, and we're going to rank the players 1 through 50. We did it last year. It was a lot of fun. We slow ranked it. Some players took it a little personal, like, why am I so low? I believe your boy Mark Thompson was one of them.
Yes, my favorite and one of my only interactions with Mark is that we posted it, and he was number 41, and he just commented, "Y'all high." That was it, and it's one of my favorite interactions I've ever had with a player.
And then if you watch like Hammer Time, Boogie has said before that he wants to be on the list.
He's brought it up multiple times.
They knew the list. It was Chris Rowland's idea of originally. We saw it on Twitter. We reached out to him. He actually voted last year. I don't know if he's going to vote this year, but so far we have 11 ballots, if I counted correctly. Last year we had 17 or 18.
We haven't even really put it publicly yet, so it's a lot of ballots.
We're trying not to make it a fan vote. People that actually follow the league. I think this year, especially, we know who number 1 is. It's really 2 through 50. Last year, out of only one person did not vote for Turpin. That was me.
Yeah, you voted Chris.
I'm defense. But this year, I think it's going to be unanimous. I could be wrong. The highest returning player was Vito Victor at 3, so we'll see where he goes. I'm hoping he's still in the top 50. I assume he is. Just I don't know if he's number 3 anymore. Magoo wasn't even in the list last year.
That's so wild that the most likely unanimous all number 1 wasn't even on the list last year. Wasn't even a starter.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. The league of opportunity, man. I'm very excited about it. I've kind of been putting it off because I think about it a lot, and I changed my mind on certain players, and I'm almost nervous. Last year Maverick, he talked about how he was kind of just for O linemen looking at the all USFL list and then plugging them in, and it's hard, especially in a league like this where there's only the game highlights that you can find on YouTube. The stats that you can look up. It's really difficult, especially once you get further away from the season, to remember, how much did this player disrupt a play? How much was this player in on a play where maybe a stat didn't count? Someone like Levi Bell that you were talking about before the show, you said, do we have a lot to talk about some of the players that have went to the NFL? That's the next segment. But this is a guy who, if you talk to Maverick and you talk to the other Panthers fans, most of us didn't know his name because he only had 4 sacks on the season. The guy was in on every play in the backfield. He was getting in there. So, it's hard to gauge further after the season. And I was trying to keep this in the back of my mind the entire season that we were watching and, keeping in mind players that maybe wouldn't come up as much later when you're looking at the stats online. So
yeah, the offensive line is definitely the toughest.
That's the hardest, man.
There's 0 stats. Nice thing we have this year is the PFF grades. So I'm with my list, I'm taking
faulting to
USFL, all USFL people. So they were voted on by coaches and players.
Yeah.
I'm taking ours, all USFL network,
first and second team.
Yeah. And then I'm taking PFF grades and kind of mashing them together and sprinkling in some offensive line. And then the other positions, obviously, the offensive numbers and the pass rushers but the guys on coverage that may not have a lot of tackles, like an Ike Brown last year, or it just guys, or Levante Taylor. He's the perfect one.
I was about to say Levante Taylor, a guy that nobody talked about.
He's great. He's a great player, but has 0 stats. So you kind of have to
no stats
incorporate all data and create up a list. So
yes. So it's difficult, and anybody who sees this and then later, if we ask you to participate, to send in a ballot, please remember we're trying to keep biases aside. We're trying to keep this as true to form as possible. It is the actual top 50 players in the eyes of everybody, and we're going to do it the same as last year, where I'll come up with a graphic. I'm trying to do different graphics this year for everything. The free agent signing graphics are starting to leak out right now. The NFL signing graphics are already out. So I'm going to put together something cool for top 50, and we're going to release them one day at a time for 50 straight days like we did last year. And it's going to be very, very cool. But give us about 2 weeks because, like I said, Webb spearheads this. It was his birthday this week, so he's a busy man. And it takes a lot of time to put all these ballots together and make sure that it's correct. Because, like we said, players pay attention. They notice what number they get, and we're not trying to make anybody mad, especially if we don't need to, and they were supposed to be higher or lower. So
the toughest part is like the guys 46 through 50 because we all have different guys, right?
Yes.
That's where the part of the list where your biases do come through.
It's almost like a 40A, 40B.
Yeah, I really like this guy, and they're about the same. I'm going to put this guy on. That's the toughest part of the list. Like figuring out 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's no big deal because they're on everybody's list. It's when you're trying to figure out 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and so on. So that's going to be the challenge, and we'll get it for the next USFLA, and we'll argue about it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
So the next thing that we're going to talk about, which I kind of talked about a little bit earlier when I was mentioning Levi Bell, was USFL to NFL. This is probably the biggest part of the offseason for us.
Yeah.
Our man, Brandon, the captain over there, USFL_showboats. I think he might be considering changing his handle, but we'll let you know if that happens. He is so good at keeping track of all of the players that they get workouts, I don't know, scouts talk about them. He keeps a list. I literally have it right in front of me so that we could talk about these. He's the best person in the offseason to follow to keep track of literally everything. You know, there's people who post every time a player gets signed, but if you want to know every time a guy who is even remotely involved in the USFL gets an NFL workout, you talk to Brandon.
Well, he retweeted Ike Brown. Ike Brown's been gone for a year from the Breakers.
Oh, yeah.
He found out, he sent it to Lowe about Ike Brown being cut yesterday. And and then someone already reached out to Ike Brown saying, would he come back to USFL? And Brandon already retweeted that he said he would come back to USFL. So like Brandon,
it was literally someone deep in the comments on the Raiders actual post. The Raiders posted that they had released Ike Brown, and somebody in the comments said, I texted on his Instagram Live if he would come back to the USFL, and he said he would love to come back and hopes he can next season. Brandon just found this tweet and he retweeted it so that we could all see it and know that we might get Ike Brown back, a guy who we're talking about. He didn't have any stats because he was legitimate, just locked down, and then had that great pick 6 last year. So, you know, he keeps track of everybody. I think finally he said if they have nothing to do with or don't talk about the USFL for a year, he'll let them go. Like Victor Bolden, you asked, you're like, do we claim this? He was like, no.
He comes up with the rules of who we claim and who we don't.
Yeah, because, you know, do they defect to another league? Like, do they go to the XFL? Like, stuff like that. But let's go. I believe this list is in order.
Yep.
Yeah. So number 1, who got taken off the board, which is amazing and should have happened last year, was Brandon Aubrey, the kicker for the Birmingham Stallions.
It's awesome. He's probably going to earn a spot, I hope, if preseason goes right. He's perfect. He's always been pretty good. Like he's a great guy. Seeing him at the championship, even though the Maulers lost, like he just was a class act the entire time, and I'm rooting for him.
Oh yeah, I was so excited. I went up and I said, "Hey, it's nice to meet you in person." He's like, "Dude, so nice to see you. Not behind a screen." And his fiance, she goes, "Oh my gosh, let me take a picture of you guys." And they're just the sweetest people. So when it came out that it was him going to the Cowboys, which is every time a kicker was posted about in the USFL, half the comments are just people going, "Cowboys, Cowboys, Jerry Jones, like, look at this guy." So the fact that it happened, it finally came to fruition, was awesome, because Brandon Aubrey, like you said, he's near perfect. The guy, he's a fantastic kicker. And man, I think he could genuinely be the starter. This is one of the only players that has been signed where I'm like, that guy could be on the starting roster week 1.
I would love to add Jay Sternberger on there.
I could see that. Okay.
So he got number 87, right? That was the jersey number. And like typically in training camp, like if you get 87, 88 and you're a tight end, you're probably going to come.
That's a
you're
good
probably
number.
Going to stick. Now they've got the rookie Dalton Kincaid from Utah, their first round draft pick, who's really good.
Oh, which people are like, he can run routes and get open like Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
I like him, so I like him personally.
No, I get it. And he's a new pick, rookie. People want to talk him up, but this is the NFL, man. You're going from college to the NFL. It's faster. That's the biggest thing, is it's faster. It's going to take a year. It's going to take some time. He's not going to come in and be that amazing, especially as a tight end. So maybe Jace does take it. Maybe he's, tight end 2. Because
Brandon shared a tweet today that he was already working with the 3rd-team offense in Bills camp. So
it's the second day.
Yeah. So I think Jace fits well, actually. Like if you really think about it, like
is Dalton Knox still there?
Who's that?
Is Dalton Knox still there?
I'm not 100% sure, but they did draft Kincaid. Even if he is, they need the 3rd tight end on that. They do. So.
And there's literally 13 package. So 3 tight ends, he could get in there. But I'm talking the guy. I'm talking. There's one kicker walking out there on the sideline. Brandon Aubrey.
Oh, I agree. I love Brandon Aubrey.
The
other guys that I think could stick. My guy Tizzino, who just got reported today.
Yes.
He goes from the best defense in the USFL to the best defense in the NFL. He's just a hard-nosed player. He's a California kid, so it's kind of a dream for him.
He kind of fits their kind of linebacker archetype as well, which I enjoy.
Yeah,
it's an all around. He can come downhill and hit, but he can drop back and he can cover a tight end well. He really does fit their type. They're not the team that's going to have the blisteringly fast linebackers. They're not the ones that have just the straight up, Ray Lewis punch in the gap. It's kind of an all-around guy, and he makes a lot of sense. And it makes sense that they brought in him, Ginda, and I don't remember who the third person was, but they're all that kind of utility, can do everything on defense kind of guy. So
what do you think about Magoo? His chances? I know you're a Vikings fan, so you're rooting against him probably.
Well, I always root against the Packers, man. I don't care. That's a bias that I will never hide. But I think that he has a decent chance, especially right now. I don't think he's going to start. I don't think he's going to go in there and win the job.
Wait. So you're telling me he's head and shoulders below Love?
Jordan Love?
Yeah.
You wanted to say Josh Love, right?
I did.
It's so hard. when you cover the USFL and try to talk about the NFL and talk about Jordan Love, it's really hard.
For a minute there, I forgot his name. That's why I just said Love. But
I knew. But no. So Jordan Love, it's really difficult because he's unproven. Yep. But also, you think that if he was going to be that good, if he was a starter in the NFL, he would have gotten traded because there's been QB openings. The guy's been in the league 4 years.
3 or 4, yeah.
There's been openings. If he was really that good, he could have gone somewhere else and played. I don't know what everybody just wants to. It's like that organization made that call, and it was a terrible call to draft him and try and light a fire under Aaron Rodgers. What were you doing? And so it was like they just stuck to their guns and wouldn't give up the fact that they drafted him. Yeah. I don't think he's the savior. I think maybe he's a filler for this year. But because of that, I think QB2 is pretty open right now. I think the QB room is going to be very, very competitive. I don't think that Alex Magoo could be the starter. I've seen crazier things happen. But I think QB3, QB2, I think he could make it to those positions and possibly get a bigger bag than he has right now, because I think he was just shy of $1 million.
I'm not 100% sure, but with the QB3 rule, I think he could stick on as QB3.
Oh, yeah. I think he could. If he stays healthy, he could easily stay on as QB3.
Yeah, so he just needs a good preseason. I don't know who they're playing, but talking about his teammates, I can't believe Austin Watkins. I did not expect that one. I thought he would have another.
Random.
He seemed to have flashes, but he was behind a lot of offensive weapons.
Week 1, he had that flash. He had the super long catch where he caught it, didn't get touched, and was able to roll into the end zone. But after that, you really didn't hear his name. You really didn't.
Yeah, and when he's on a roster with the other guys that are on this list, Sternberger, Davis, and Kane, he was a silent partner. And for him to get the shot with the Browns is really cool.
Yes.
And then Deion Kane, I love him from Clemson days, so
Yes, but to go back to Austin Watkins, I would say 40 time is probably what got him into a camp. And then he was able to go show, because that's a hard wide receiver room to shine on unless you're, the Deion Kane, the Victor Bolden. So I would say 40 time got him in there, speed, got him into the camp, and then he was able to show some flashes. That's probably why he got caught. And if I know anything about the Browns organization, they really, really love speed. And it's part of the reason that they don't do that well. But I digress. That's for a different show.
Let's talk about your boy before we move on.
Dude, Josh Peterson, man. I love how it was so glaringly obvious when he got signed that he was going to go to his dad's team. It was like, can you spell nepotism? Yes, I can. What?
And then they cut a tight end.
T-I-S-M. They cut another tight end and brought on Josh Peterson, which I don't hate.
Yeah.
He fits the scheme. He looked great during the season, honestly. He knows the playbook. I mean, talk about team chemistry. His dad's the head coach. But he legitimately did look good in the USFL. He was third in yards, or third in catches. I think third in yards among tight ends as well, behind Sage Surratt and Jay Sternberger. So the dude is a great filler tight end, at least a camp body at the very least. I think he could be a tight end for if you're going to keep that many on the roster, depending on the kind of offense you're trying to run. But I don't hate it. I thought it made more sense. It wasn't as everybody. If there was a different head coach there, it wouldn't have been as big of a question in my mind.
Yeah, I got you.
But because his dad's the head coach, everybody says, "Oh, he only got it because of his dad." No. He also played his butt off during the season and did really well. His name just wasn't Sternberger or Surratt.
Yeah, I agree. I think he deserves it. I'm really excited to see this list grow. I know they got 60 last year. It seems like the pace is starting to pick up. Obviously, camp's open.
Yeah,
they're gonna be. For a minute there, I was like, "What's going on? Like, why it's so slow?" But then now camp's open, and this is where it just You got to go in there and
Gates
prove
are
it.
starting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yesterday specifically. So it's Wednesday now. This is dropping Thursday. So Tuesday, I was at work and I kept getting texts from Brandon because, he's on top of it. And he was like, we need a graphic. We need a graphic. I was like, oh my gosh. To the point where still after work at the gym with my fiance, I'm on my phone trying to finish a graphic. And she's like, dude, do your pull-ups. I'm like, just give me a second. Like, oh, it was a stressful day yesterday. Today was much more calm. I was able to focus on a little slam balls.
Slam ball. Who's your team in slam ball?
Oh, the buzzsaw, man. Come on.
Right.
Love me some buzzsaw, dude.
Why?
If anybody didn't check, dude, because their coach, legitimately, because their head coach called me out on Twitter, and then now we're DMing and like becoming friends. And I made that graphic for him. So like, I'm in.
Is he one of the coaches that got in a fight?
No, he was not. That was the Ozone and the Wrath.
All gas.
The Ozone and the Wrath, and both of their head coaches got. Well, if we're gonna go down this road for a second, so slam ball, it came out 15 years ago. It's back. I remember when it came out. That stuff was crazy. I think it was airing on like Cartoon Network back in the day, like
Spike
on Spike TV. Dude, it was crazy.
Right after it, yeah.
Dude, it was crazy. So it's basically basketball and football combined with hockey, and it's crazy with hockey. Yeah, true, because there's no out of bounds. You reset off the wall. You pass off the wall. So I think that it does fall under United Football Media because they market it as a cross between basketball and football. So that's good enough for me. Darian Slade, who was on the Breakers in the preseason in training camp. He is on the third best team behind my buzzsaw. He's on the Wrath. He's literally knocking dudes out. So this is really fun to watch. They have 8 teams. It's only a couple weeks of it. They're doing it.
Coach Carter.
Each weekend is a tournament style. The Rumble, their coach is Coach Carter. Yes, Coach Carter from the movie.
Not Samuel.
Not Samuel L. Jackson, but the guy Samuel was playing. It's fun.
It was Denzel. It was Denzel, not Samuel. It was Denzel that played Coach Carter. It was Denzel.
It was Samuel L. Jackson.
Coach Carter?
Coach Carter is Samuel L. Jackson.
Coach Carter is not Samuel L. Jackson.
Well,
okay, please pause. KB, can you please? We need the KB side in here.
He's typing. You can hear her typing. Dude, I've seen it so many times. I'm not even cutting this out.
I'm wrong.
It's Samuel L. Jackson. I'm not even cutting this out. I'm leaving this so that everybody knows that you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
According to Google, it is Samuel L. Jackson.
Thank you, KB.
What's the movie where it's Denzel as a coach?
That's He Got Game with Ray Allen.
No, that's the other one.
Remember the Titans. There you go.
Remember the Titans. There it is.
Way to go, dude. Okay, so back to it. Slam Ball. Brandon created a Twitter account called Slam Ball Network. Then we have an Instagram now. I'm doing graphics for it. We're gonna be commenting on the games. So if you're in a football lull right now, you don't watch CFL, you don't watch NAL, CIF. There's a bunch of indoor leagues.
I think it gets all wrapped up by the time the NFL and college start. So
it does. So go watch some Slam Ball. Follow the Slam Ball Network on Twitter and Instagram. Have fun with us. It's honestly just a blast to do, and it's kind of football, kind of not. So you enjoy it. So go do that. Yeah. But man, I don't know. Is there anybody else you really want to talk about? On
Levi Bell, we hit earlier.
Levi Bell, that's a dude was in on every play, man. And this is my favorite thing. This is why I wanted to talk about him. If you go to his Twitter page, he doesn't have that many followers. But first of all, his profile picture is him. He's jacked. The dude looks ridiculous. He's built like Nick Bosa. And then his bio says, personal trainer. If you want to gain 15 to 20 pounds of muscle, DM me, quotations, train me. I'm going to DM him after the show because, first of all, I'm trying to lose some weight for my wedding. But second of all, I just want to know, he put it out there. I need to know. So I think that's awesome. We talked about Tizino. We've talked about everybody but Caden Davis.
Caden Davis, yeah.
So Caden Davis was a guy who stood out in the Broncos training camp last year. He didn't make the final cut, so he thought, let's go USFL. He joined in April, right after the season started. He came in. He only had 5 catches, but where he really shined was he was a special teams player. This guy proved what Coach Bob, the GM of the Gamblers, loves to say this, and he tweets about it a lot when people put special teams plays highlights on Twitter from the USFL, that players who may not get the starting spot in the USFL can still make their way because special teams matter so much. If you show that you're a fantastic gunner on punt, that you can absolutely get down there on kickoff, you can return, there is a spot for you in the NFL if you can do those things well and do them well consistently. Caden Davis was one of those guys, and that's why he got the call. Some people were confused. If you paid a lot of attention, we're not. So that's all we got for USFL to NFL. But before we get to KB Blindside, back to why we rebranded. We mentioned, a bunch of arena football, slam ball. We're covering all football now, man. All American football we are covering. I think we said we're not really going to do CFL that much. It's just got so many people cover it, and it's harder to watch, get a hold of games and stuff. So I think we'll talk about it a little bit, but that's probably not one we're covering too much. But the AFL is coming back. I already called dibs on the Austin team. We got, maybe some IFL. We're definitely covering slam ball. We're going to cover college football and NFL. So there's going to be new shows coming out, a bunch of articles coming out. It's going to be a fun time.
And subscribe. That Turpin jersey is about to be mailed out. So
that Turpin jersey is about to go. Finally, I get to go. Luckily, I've kept it in a plastic bag. It's all wrapped up in my closet, so I can just blow the dust off it. It's still good as new in that bag, but I will send it to somebody once we hit 1,000 subscribers. Now, KB, my wonderful mother-in-law, who just moved near me. She is now in Texas, the football state. No one else can tell me it's not. The football state.
Per capita, NFL players.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. I don't care.
Georgia is number one, but we'll.
Are there any Georgia football movies? No.
You can have the football movies. We'll just, Okay, all right, whatever.
KB, whatever. Do you have a blindside?
Two-time NCAA champ, whatever.
So the first thing I'd like to add is that the Slam Ball Championship game is on August 17th.
Man, this is a short season.
So it is a super short season. Yeah. It started July 21st, and championship is August 17th.
It's less than a month long.
If you blink, you're going to miss it.
So that is a great point. So make sure you go follow the Slam Ball Network, follow Slam Ball's official account. They have the person who ran the account for the XFL in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that person is hilarious. I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but they're hilarious. Their memes are on point. Their tweets are great. Yeah. Go follow the official account and then follow the Slam Ball Network account. Weirdly enough, they interact a good amount, so that's really cool. But this is just a blast to do. It's a month of our time, on the weekends, just watching some guys jump on trampolines.
Well, it's not even the weekends. It starts Thursday
tomorrow.
This week.
Tomorrow,
yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So,
Dude, tomorrow I'm hyped to watch my buzzsaw. Ooh, let's go!
I mean, you are going to need an ESPN Plus subscription, but
Yes. True, ESPN Plus, but at this point, most people probably have it just because
anybody watching this show should have it. So
true. But
all right. Other than that, I really don't have a blind side. You touched on it earlier, so I would just like to wish our friend Webb here a really happy 40th birthday.
Yeah, happy 21st birthday, man.
Ace had a birthday too since last time we saw.
But it's not like
it's a week, man. 27 isn't as cool. 27 isn't as cool. I was just like depressed that I was closer to 30. It's just less fun in the 20s.
The United Football Media would not be what it is without Webb. So
thank you.
I just want to wish you a really happy birthday and speak on behalf of all of us and let you know how much we appreciate you, how much we appreciate the work that you do. And you're an amazing leader.
Thank you.
And I just, you've become a dear friend, and I appreciate you. So that's really all I've got.
You're making me feel uncomfortable.
I know. I can
thank your wife for letting you do all this stuff with us all the time. We have
right?
two of the most patient women.
The rock star, Christina.
She gets rid of me. Like, honestly, she gets rid of me for like 45 minutes when I'm on filming. She's like, "Oh, you're filming? Oh, you haven't done that in a while. Go ahead." And I'm like,
you act like we do this for only 45 minutes. We're in
but I came in here about 8:30, so maybe 8:20. Yeah, so it's about an hour.
All right.
So
well,
that's really all I've got.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate you,
You guys
and very
awesome.
happy birthday.
Well, thank you. You guys are awesome. It's changed my life in a way. Like this is like the coolest thing ever. Like I always wanted to be a journalist when I was younger, and I was always told, "Oh, it doesn't make any money. It doesn't make any money. It doesn't make any money." So I didn't go.
They were right about that.
They're right about it. Yeah, we're not making any money. So now at 40 years old, I get to live through my childhood dream.
Now that you're 40, you realize that sometimes personal joy and satisfaction is more important than
my kids would not
money.
be able to eat if I was doing USFL coverage. So the decision.
Hey, but
I love it.
We managed to balance
hobby,
it,
and it's awesome. And
we managed to balance it. Yeah. Hey, how many people can say that they were on the sideline of the USFL championship? Yeah. There was maybe 250 people, including players, on the sideline. Yeah. That's it. That was really cool.
And like you got to meet a lot of cool people, not just you guys, but like I got a guy coming on my show next week. He met me at the championship, and he's like, "I want to come on your show and just talk football." And I'm like, "Okay." And it just surreal to me that like some guy that lives in Hershey, Pennsylvania, is contacting me, and we're talking, Pittsburgh Maulers football, which I didn't even know existed until 2 years ago. So,
so cool, dude.
Yeah, and now like I'm starting that Sun Belt, and that, like I love it, man. It is absolutely. This has just been a dream, really. The whole experience, and I appreciate you guys, and thank you. And yeah, 40 is a nice round number, but 27, man, you get married, probably the kids after, like it just.
If I can convince.
It comes fast, all right? It comes fast. 40 will be there before. Like I've been a dad for 10 years, so it comes fast.
By the time I'm 40, we're going to be doing hologram shows. It'll be us on holograms. Just in people's eyes, in their contacts.
The days are long, but the years are short, gentlemen.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I love being on the show with you guys. I love doing this. I feel in my element. I can't wait. Webb has his Sunbelt Conference show coming out. I know more about the Sunbelt Conference than I ever did now. I will probably, during the season, be covering a lot of Baylor football, first of all, and the Big 12 as a whole. I love the Big 12 and covering that.
I'm trying to plan a trip out to San Marcos, by the way. Like I'm trying to coordinate.
I will meet you there, man. I've never been to Texas State, but I've been to San Marcos a bunch of times. But we're covering all football,
who's
guys.
the coach? Hold on. This is USFL related. You know who's the coach at Texas State?
No.
Lindsey Scott.
Wait, the quarterback?
The quarterback that the Maulers drafted. He does not list the Maulers on his Instagram. He lists the XFL Roughnecks because he was drafted there too. But he is an assistant because the guy, Incarnate Ward, now runs Texas State, and they had 50 transfers. Like, you want to talk about transfer portal? That's a different conversation. But Lindsey Scott is an offensive analyst for the Texas State Bobcats.
Well, that's weird. We definitely got to get down there, work on getting us some credentials, and let's go talk to him and be like, you need to come to the Maulers. So.
Well, we got Troy. We're good. Lindsay, you want to be a coach? Be a coach. We got Troy.
You got Troy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got. And, man, we'll see y'all next time.